It is Thursday, February 17th, and you're listening or watching an episode of the Boiler Breakdown podcast. I'm Evan here with Andrew, and we are without our fearless leader, Tanner, as he enjoys the Florida sunshine. How's it going, Andrew?
I'm good. Wish I was in Florida.
Hey, no kidding, especially
Have you been outside in the last hour?
We were just texting before we started recording. You take your dog out, and I literally had to do the same thing. And it was it was raining all day here in Indy, and then took the dog out, and it's windy, and all of a sudden there's snow on the ground. So,
and it's ice. It was like it hurt. Like it was windy, and it was sheets of ice pelting. It felt like. Yeah. I think Northern Indiana. I talked to my dad earlier, and he said I think at 5 o'clock or something like that they already had 2 or 3 inches of snow.
Oh wow! Yeah, I was in Illini country last night, Champaign, Illinois. I was supposed to be there most of the day today and come back there this afternoon, but all my appointments emailed me telling me that I should probably just go home last night to avoid the soon-to-be ice storm. So I appreciate that, but it was. I drove back and listened to I was able to listen to the Northwestern game last night, which it was late, but the stress kept me awake.
Were you home for the end? The last 5 minutes?
No, I was not. But I think the last 5 minutes, I think it was over 45 minutes left of my drive. And by the time the game ended, I was like 15 minutes from home. So it just took so damn long to finish the game.
Yeah.
But
because Northwestern shot free throws every 30 seconds.
Yeah. That's what it sounded like. I just listening to Robin.
And Purdue was missing free throws every 30 seconds.
Which is an issue we've experienced. But this is our first podcast since the Minnesota game, which took place on February 2nd. I think we recorded right before the Michigan game on February 5th. So it was probably the 3rd or 4th. Our schedules didn't allow us to record. We've had quite a few basketball games since then.
Yeah, because Purdue plays every other day. It seems like.
What is it? 8 games the last 21 days. I think
Thanks, Michigan.
Yeah, God.
Big Ten. Screw the Big Ten.
Yeah, Kevin Warren especially. But Painter said that they haven't had a break or a day off since like the 23rd of January.
I looked at the schedule earlier, and I think from the 27th of January through last night, I think they had 3 days off in between games. So they played like Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really the biggest. Yeah, really the biggest break was that
Northwestern game, I think. But they didn't play on
that or the Wednesday to Saturday Minnesota to Michigan first game. I mean, that was I guess 2 days, so not really.
Yeah, no, that was
so Michigan to Maryland was the longest break we've had, Thursday to Sunday. So, but I mean,
and then this one, Maryland to Northwestern.
That's true.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday to Wednesday. So same thing, 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
stupid.
Obviously there's been some. I mean, actually, when you think about it, I take that back because I said Minnesota to Michigan, but there were travel issues for the Boilers because they had to stay overnight in Minnesota. Then they flew back to Indy, and then I think they stayed in Indy, and then drove back to Lafayette or West Lafayette on Friday. Yeah,
and then played Michigan on
Saturday. And won by 6. It was definitely a hard-fought game.
And then the Illinois game Tuesday.
Which was definitely the highlight of this little run we've had. I mean, I guess unless you want to count Ohio State's Jay Nivey buzzer beater or semi buzzer beater. But I mean, whooped Illinois 84-68. It was really just an awesome game. I mean, obviously the top 2 teams in the Big Ten going at it. I mean, it was a great first half back and forth. Illinois took the lead right at the last second with Purdue having absolute matador defense as Corbello took the ball from coast to coast for a layup. But then in the second half, Jaden Ivey just said, all right, this game's mine. And he scored like 20 points in the second half.
I kind of forgot about that game. Seems like so long ago.
It does.
Because there have been about 6 games in between.
I was trying to pull up that box score. I mean, you had Ivey with, let's see here, 26. And I believe like most of those games, I think he had like 22 in the second half, something ridiculous. He was 10 of 17 from the field. Edey had 13 points. Trey had 10 points. I mean, big thing too, we shot 13 of 18 from the free throw line, which we hadn't seen in a minute. Let's see, we had 9 turnovers. They also had 9 turnovers, but really in the second half, we kind of just asserted our dominance and ran away with it at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. And then after that, followed up with return trip to Michigan, which we don't need to talk about that game because that was just not a fun one. Lost by, 24?
I'm glad I went to bed at halftime. That was a 9:00 Thursday night game. I think.
Yeah, I should have.
I watched the first couple minute of the second half, and I was like,
that was a game.
I'm gonna wake up hopefully and be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, that was a game where Michigan was hitting everything. Granted, they were hitting open shots, which our defense was a problem in that. But kind of like what we've seen in the last couple of games, the guys just looked absolutely dead, no energy. Didn't seem to short or shots were falling short, which kind of shows you that their legs weren't with them. But there were a couple times in the second half, especially as it got towards the 15 to 10 minute mark, where I think we would get it down to they'd stretch it to 20, we would push it to 13. And we're get down to 13. I'm like, all right, here we go. This is where we make our run. And they would blitz us for 2 or 3 threes in a row and then get it right back up to 20. And it was basically how the rest of the game went. But yeah, you didn't miss much. I wish I wouldn't have watched it.
Yeah, I don't think they scored much. Second half. They only scored 50 something. Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those I don't say we were due for a butt kicking like that, but I'm okay with it happening then versus happening in March.
Mm-hmm.
And then Boilers returned home on Sunday against Maryland, a shorthanded Maryland, as Eric Ayala was announced before the game that he was going to be out. And going into that game, I was like, all right, let's just get a nice, easy 20-point win, coast until we have to play Northwestern on Wednesday. And it was anything but easy. Maryland got up about
12, I think.
It was 12 to 15.
It was up 12 in the second half.
Yeah,
kind of dead.
Yeah, Mackey was dead. I was not there, but it sounded like Mackey was not. Energy wasn't there again. Shots just weren't falling. Credit to Purdue for obviously clawing back. It is Maryland after all. I think they're second to last in the Big Ten right now. And then obviously you had what everyone's talking about, the bizarre,
worst Big Ten referee sequence and the week. Probably the week. There's usually a bad one.
Yeah,
seems like frequently.
That was. There's been 2 games for Purdue this year that I've learned something, or I've had seen that I've never seen before. The first was I think it was the Ohio State game where there was the clock issue, the shot clock with the decimal.
Oh no, that was.
Was that?
It wasn't Holtman that Painter. No, it was Illinois.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. It was Illinois.
Underwood.
Because Robbie
got into it. Yeah.
Yeah, because Robbie was commenting the game. I've watched a lot of Purdue basketball over the years, and I never knew that whatsoever. Apparently,
I didn't understand. Yeah, that apparently there's no decimal when it gets under.
Yeah, I guess I've never noticed that. But I'm not looking at the shot clock when I'm at Mackey. I'm just usually watching the play. But apparently there was a memo sent out. So the fact that I don't know. It's frustrating.
Isn't there a decimal though?
I don't know. That's the underlying issue. Let's just get a new damn clock.
Yeah.
But then it was this other play at the Maryland game where the out of bounds where there another clock issue, which just sounded like it was the timekeeper. Which from my understanding, I thought officials had the ability to start and stop the clock on a pack that they carry with them.
I think they do, but I think there is someone at the desk that apparently has it as well.
There's obviously official timekeeper, which I was kind of thinking about it, and I was like, I feel like especially under a minute, especially in tight games, it should go to the official because the officials are right on top of it versus someone jumps in front of the timekeeper and blocks their view or whatever. They're down low on the court, so I feel like it'd be much more accurate if the official can do it.
And for those that I don't know, that I'm sure most people listening saw it, what happened where 8 seconds left, Purdue's inbounding the ball underneath the Maryland basket. What?
We're up 1.
Yeah,
because we just got up 3. It just got up 3
after a made free throw. They fouled. Yeah. Purdue was up 3, fouled. Maryland made 2 free throws to cut it to 1 with 8 seconds. Purdue inbounds the ball to Ivy. He appears to get fouled.
Well, before that, they had passed it. Sasha had passed it to Eric along the baseline because that's the thing. That's when I think the clock started erroneously, as Bo Borowski so eloquently put it. Then they pass it to Ivy, who gets fouled, and they call the foul. Then they were talking about the clock first, and they go and
Which
review
I didn't
it.
understand with, I mean, if the clock starts or stops, why couldn't they just say, okay, he got fouled, let's go shoot the free throws and let's fix the clock?
Right. Yeah.
Instead, what they said, let's do a redo, but not a redo.
Right. Yeah. Because I think Painter says that he asked officials, "Are we redoing this?" And they said yes, but there was a lack of communication of. I saw tweets people saying like, "Oh, you can see the official clearly, states that he can run the baseline." Which after looking at it, is like he definitely tells Sasha. He points down to Sasha basically, which means you're stationary. And supposedly said that
I was with Sasha and with Painter. I was like, nothing happened there. It's like, okay, why? Like nothing happened.
Yeah.
So there's different. There's no difference from where we were.
Yeah.
2 minutes before this, when they figured out what the issue was with the clock. So then Purdue does it again, where they passed. I don't know if it was Hunter again. They passed one on the baseline and called for it. That's a travel, and then they turn it over now. And
which is funny too, because if you watch the clips, I saw, I've seen the clip a couple dozen times already. But if you watch the clip when he passes it to Hunter, no one on the Maryland bench reacts like it was a bad, like it was, the call.
I don't think nobody knew.
Yeah, no one knew. Like no one in the building except that official, I think, had any idea what was going on. Like Danny Mang had no idea. Danny Mang doesn't know what the hell's going on ever, I feel like. Painter obviously had no idea because there was that lack of communication. But it was when that happened, I was like, oh my God, we're about to lose the Big Ten in a 1 seed. Because it was like 7.8 seconds. They took 0.3 off. That's the minimum you can take off.
Which there shouldn't. I don't understand.
Again, it goes back to what you were just saying. Like, if it was a foul, then why are you taking if the clock stopped or whatever, and they fouled? Like, why are we? If we're doing it, why the hell are we taking time off the clock?
Yeah, I feel like they didn't do any. They went in the middle. It's like either Purdue got the ball in, the clock started too early, he got fouled, and we'll just go add a little bit of time, or it's a total redo and you leave it right at like 8 seconds or 8.1, whatever it was, and it's just right where we were right after the free throw. I don't know.
Yeah, but then Maryland gets the ball, 7.8 seconds left, under their own basket. Pass it. I don't even know who got the ball, but Travion played straight up.
I think I think it was the inbounder. He passed it in and then got it back.
Okay,
and I think is what it was. I read something and I thought Travion said that we thought he'd be getting it back, he'd be rolling after he passed it in. I thought I remember that was Travion's post game comments about it. Yeah. So he and Gillis played it great. Travion straight up as much as Danny Manning and Jay Billis will say differently, which I have no idea. Quoting 3 pictures showing Travion.
Yeah, still images, not even video, just still images. Like that's
of Travion straight up with, I don't even know, the big guy from Maryland throwing his elbow right into, initiating the contact throwing his elbow into Travion. It doesn't even have the ball. He's already lost the ball.
Yeah, he lost the ball going because Gillis. Yeah, then which I don't know. I think Gillis dives on the floor, gets the ball, and then we pass out and the game's over. Which I thought those 8 seconds lasted way longer, or lasted much shorter than I expected them to. Because it's usually 3 seconds feels like eternity, and I feel like those 8 seconds went by like a snap of a finger. Because we passed the ball, and I thought, okay, either we got fouled, we're gonna shoot free throws, or whatever. Then by the time they passed the ball out, the buzzer was off. I was like, holy crap, we just
someone pointed out, I think in that comments to Jay Billis or Danny Manning, it's like, no, you didn't lose the game because of the foul. It's like you lost the game because of what happened next when there was the loose ball and Gillis dives on it. You've got
no one else did.
3 Maryland guys turning, walking away, game's over.
Yeah.
Nobody dove on it. Nobody went for it. Somebody, a Maryland player turned and was asking for a foul, was complaining to the refs and not going for it. Yeah.
I was gonna, because I quote tweeted Danny Manning's on our Twitter account, and I so badly wanted to just be an absolute dick about it. Let's just be honest. But I was nice. I'm trying to think what his because he was a coach at Wake Forest and was terrible. Let's see what his overall coaching record, because it's not good. I think he's definitely a decent assistant coach. Let's see here. He is 122 and 151. So not that. He's not that bad, but not great. And he was at Wake Forest for a long time, or I guess 6 years. It's never really that good.
Where did he? So Wake Forest, is he coaching anywhere else?
He coached Tulsa for 2 years.
Yeah, that's probably where he banked up his wins.
Not really, because he went 17-16 the first year and 21-13 the next year. So that's his best season he's had as a head coach.
38 of his 102 wins.
Because he went 13-19, 11-20, 19-14, 11-20, 11-20, 13-18 at Wake Forest before getting the boot.
I know he wasn't supposed to be their head coach, but
right,
he's not going to be a head coach again.
No, he's not. He's not. And he's 6-11 so far as a Maryland head coach. But they got some Big Ten as well. They've got some weird. I mean, they beat Illinois, which Illinois was shorthanded. Didn't have Kofi or Io. I think they beat him pretty handily too. But they also
Illinois just gets handled sometimes. They got handled last night.
Yeah, they did. Which
ILL. You were there, Webby. Come on, weren't you?
I was so mad because I was in Champaign and I was really hoping to go to dinner after my little work thing, and because I packed my Purdue stuff and I was all ready to do it because I've worn. I always usually wear Purdue stuff whenever I'm out traveling because I either go to Illinois country or Hoosier country, and so I always make sure I pack my Purdue stuff whenever I go. And I've only actually ever gotten comments in Champaign when I've been out to dinner. Some guy, it was like two or 3 years ago too. I think it was even during like football season, which was even stranger. But
Michigan just heads up. Michigan's up 3 with 12 seconds to go.
Over Iowa at Iowa, which both those teams are tied. I think they are 7th and 8th. Iowa's 7th right now. Michigan's 8th Big Ten, but they're tied at 7-6 overall record. So you kind of alluded to it. I mean, Rutgers takes care of business last night against Illinois at the rack, which
nobody can win at the rack.
Except
whatever,
like
Jersey Mike's.
Yeah, except like Lafayette, which is even you texted Tanner and I last night saying that Rutgers about ready to play themselves into a double bye in the Big Ten tournament, and they're still kind of like on the bubble, which is bizarre.
Yeah,
it's because they have
10-5 in the Big Ten.
Yeah, they're in 5th place right now in the Big Ten. They're tied with a game and a half back of first place with Ohio State, but Ohio State's played 2 less games than they have, but they've got 1 less loss. Rutgers has some of the best wins, and also probably some of the. If Rutgers makes the tournament, they're going to make the tournament with probably some of the worst losses out of anybody. With because they so many early losses where they lose to DePaul, lost to Lafayette at home, lost to UMass. But then
I mean, Purdue's got it's going to be a tough game. I think Purdue.
Oh, I'm not
Sunday.
Looking forward to it. I mean, I was already worried about it anyway, just because I think they've won, I think like 5 straight or something like that against Purdue, or like 5 out of the last 6 or something. It was some crazy stat like that.
And now Ron Harper is going to be questionable with the hand injury, which means Geo Baker is going to go off.
Yeah, we didn't have Geo Baker last time Ron Harper went off, so if Ron Harper's unavailable, Geo Baker will go off.
Not having your best player is almost like a good thing. I don't know. I mean, Purdue beat Northwestern by 20 without Ivy, and then they won by 6. But I mean, and Ivy didn't play the last like 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at going back to games like the first time we played Illinois, got Kofi Coburn in foul trouble. Still need double overtime. I mean, you think
Trace Jackson Davis
didn't play much against, and obviously it was a career night for Rob Finney.
Maryland didn't have
Eric Ayala.
Ayala. Some random guy's gonna go off. I don't know.
I was listening to the Bragg, which we haven't talked about the Northwestern game last night, but I think it was Greer for Northwestern had like a couple threes last night, and he's like a 29% free or 3-point shooter. I think is what it was. I'm showing you who it was. Greer was 2 of 2 from 3, and I think he's one of those guys who like is shooting like sub 30% on the year. But we go to Northwestern last night, take care of business. It was a 6-point game. I mean,
it should have been 15.
Yeah, at one point it was a
horrible
last. It was a 14-point game. We were going away. And then really, that Travion offensive foul kind of started the whole. In quotation marks, air quotes. started the whole because they got 2 free throws out of that because Pete Nance I think sunk 2, so that was really a 4-point swing, and then from there was kind of Purdue playing prevent defense via offense, and then this went to the game like
how many Purdue missed the front end of a couple 1-and-1s.
I think we missed 2 back-to-back.
Yeah, and then split a couple. I mean, they were like 5 of 11 at some point in the second half, and I feel like they were only like 2 of 8 down the stretch from the free throw line. I mean, it was ugly.
Let's see here. They were.
I mean, I think it got to 4, didn't it? I don't think it got lower than 4.
I think you're right. Yeah, we were. Let's see here. Oh, wrong team. Yeah, we were 8 of 8 in the first half from the free throw line, 6 of 13 in the second half.
Yeah.
And 14 of 21, 66 shoe shot, made 2/3 of them. I mean, the story of the second half too was our 3-point shooting. We started the game. I mean, first half we shot 2 of 9 from 3. Second half we were 6 of 12. I mean, big shots from Mason Gillis. Eric Hunter had one towards the very end that kind of really sealed it, I think, for us. Sasha hit a couple. Ivy did not play well. He played 23 minutes, only 8 points, 2 of 12 from the field, 0 of 5 from 3.
He had a couple drive kickouts, I think, to 103. That was kind of big to kind of stretch it out early in the second half. Not scoring as much, but still made plays a little bit. But yeah, he's struggled the last couple games.
I mean, everybody who played scored, which was nice. Caleb First had 3 points.
Ethan Morton needs more shots, man. He doesn't miss.
Yeah, he's slowly turning into a somewhat consistent.
Is he shooting like 50% from 3? Like he's got to be. I feel like he hasn't. He's missed like 1. I can remember him missing like 1.
Yeah.
48%. He is 48%.
Yeah, I mean he's kind of similar to Gillis, so just like he doesn't take volume, but I mean
he takes 1 or 2 a game.
Yeah, if he can hit 1 or 2 a game, that's just another thing that the defense has to worry about. Hunter was 1 of 2. Mason was 3 of 4. Ivy 0 of 5. Sasha 1 of 5. Isaiah 2 of 3. Ethan 1 of 1. First was 0 of 1. Was 0 and 1. And I think everybody who played scored, and everybody who played also got a rebound. So I feel like you don't see that entirely too often.
All in all, in this tough stretch we talked about where Purdue didn't have more than 2 to 3 days in between games. 2 days really in between games, 1 to 2 days in between games, I guess. Purdue goes 7-1 in that 8-game stretch with the 1 loss at Michigan. Seems like, I mean, it's kind of like survive. I mean, just get through it. Are you at all concerned how the last 3 games have gone? Because it seems like the defense has been better. It seems like the last couple games have been. It seems like they kind of bottomed out, but also the turnovers have been up again.
Yes, I don't feel that worried right now, just because of what we just talked about. We're talking 8 games, 21 days. We've won 7 of them. You talk about defense, we have given up 64 points, 61 points, grant 82 to Michigan. That was kind of the outlier. And, held Illinois, at the time, the first place team in the Big Ten to 68 points. Really, so the last 4 games, really, we've held all but the Michigan game. We held teams under 70 points, which is usually our magic number as an offense. We haven't lost a game when we scored 70 points. So I think the defense, and also, you look at the last 2 games we played Maryland and Northwestern, not the cream of the crop of the Big Ten, but like I said, I wouldn't have to watch the game, but it sounded like our defensive effort and intensity was much better yesterday against Northwestern. I think I saw Brian Hubert talk about like how sometimes it felt like there were 6 players on the court for Purdue at times, just about the way they were moving and kind of smothering the ball. But I do think the turnovers is definitely a product of just being tired, not being mentally there. I think this is definitely just as much as physical, if not more, on the mental side. Just because we're talking. We're still a pretty young team. Obviously, you've got the 3 seniors in Trey, Sasha, and Eric. But Ivy's a sophomore. Edie's a sophomore. Obviously Mason's technically a sophomore, but more so a junior. But we still got a lot of young guys. who are playing in front of crowds for the first time in the season. It's their first time really going through a grind like this. Where last year as a young team, we were kind of underdogs a lot, whereas this year we're everybody's biggest game, at least it seems like. So we're getting everybody's best shot, which I think I saw again Brian post. You have to give a lot of credit to people like Duke who get this every single day, year in, year out. But yeah, I'm not too worried. I am worried about Sunday, just because North. I think Rutgers presents a lot of problems for us. But I mean, I'm not. I mean, parents even talk about back at home. The parents even say like we haven't had a chance to practice. Like it's just all it is like anytime there's any break, it's either giving them a little bit of break or just watching film or doing like walkthroughs. They haven't had a chance to really practice anything. So when you go when you play Michigan, twice within 5 days, I don't think Michigan was really focused all that much on Penn State when they played in between us, because they barely beat them. I think they're really focused on that revenge game, which I can't really blame them for that. But just we haven't been able to really work on defensive, adjustments, because people are starting to. One thing we've really struggled with the pick and roll for some reason on defense, especially when Edie's out there. When you got guys like Hunter Dickinson, a more mobile big who can pick and pop.
Until Purdue played him on Saturday 2 weeks ago, I did not know that he was a shooter. Could shoot a little bit. I had no idea. I know when Purdue recruited him, I was like, oh sweet, he's a big guy. He's really going to be
mobile,
down low, dominating. But I knew, I did not know he was. Also I'm glad he's not at Purdue. I hate him.
Yeah, after seeing him in person for the first time at Mackey, just some of the stuff he was doing, it was just like, yeah, that wouldn't fly at Purdue. Painter wouldn't put up with that crap. Yeah, I'm not too bummed that we didn't get him, because what that would have. I love having Edie on the team. But I think just having obviously we have the game on Sunday, then we have 6 days before we play Michigan State. So much needed and much deserved time off for the guys, and where they can obviously get some rest, but also freaking practice something. We've got all this film now of all these teams that have made adjustments against, especially maybe a lot of them being the second time that we played them. So I think it'll really allow us to really fix some things, but obviously just kind of lock in, because there's only 4 games left, including Sunday. So we're gonna have, it's not an easy stretch by any means, but you look at the schedule. You've got home against Rutgers, at Michigan State, at Wisconsin, home against Indiana. And really the one I'm most comfortable with is the home against Indiana. Is the game I'm most comfortable with. I'm not really sure which one after that. I'm not sure if I feel more comfortable at Michigan State or at Wisconsin, because Wisconsin's playing really well right now. I think it might feel a little bit better at Michigan State, just because I feel like we give them a lot more matchup problems, and they don't really have anybody that's totally elite. But as of right now, we're tied with Illinois in the Big Ten standings. And it's
12-4.
Yep.
What do you think? What's it going to take? It's 5 losses, win the Big Ten?
Yeah, I think at least you to share. Let's look at it. Because also you got Wisconsin also at 11-4, so it's not just that we keep them at Illinois, but Wisconsin's right there too.
But Purdue plays Wisconsin. So
yes,
control that a little
that's
bit.
like
Illinois has at Michigan State, home against Ohio State, at Michigan, home against Penn State, home against Iowa.
Yeah. So really, they're a chance for Illinois loss. I don't think is going to happen in March. Especially with both those games at home, I don't see a Penn State or Iowa.
I bet, yeah. But, Illinois, yeah.
I think. They're coming off a loss, so I think they're going to be ready for Saturday at Michigan State. You'd think that'd be a game that probably the most likely that they would lose, just given looking at rankings or whatever. But you've been right along. I think Michigan State's a bunch of frauds, and they're not that great.
Yeah.
Ohio State, it really just kind of depends on which Ohio State team shows up. It's at Illinois, so that's obviously going to be beneficial. It's going to be a really good game to watch next Thursday. But it just really depends on. I guess it really depends on which team has the player that can most, or that's going to be able to challenge Kofi the most, because that's really where when they struggle is when they play a team that Kofi has to go up against another decent big. So if he's going up against so I think like Ohio State, EJ Liddell's their center, isn't he?
Kyle Young kind of plays center.
Yeah, Kofi's going to friggin' annihilate Kyle Young. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I just say let's just win all 4.
Yeah, I mean, if Purdue just
Yeah.
wins out and it doesn't matter. But
I mean, Ken Palm, which I go back and forth on Ken Palm depending on how I'm feeling because I know they hate our defensive metrics right now, which I don't know what to believe on, what to think about all the defensive metrics. I think they predicted the final Big Ten standings as of right now, as it stands, and Purdue would win the conference outright. I think it was at 15-5, and then they had Illinois at 14-6. So I would take that in a heartbeat. Who does Wisconsin have left?
They go home against Michigan, at Minnesota, at Rutgers, home Purdue, home against Nebraska. I mean, they got the death trap at Rutgers. So
yeah. How great would it be if Nebraska goes into the Kohl Center and just whoops them? Yeah, we can dream. But I mean, this makes Big Ten fun. Also you look at Ohio State; they haven't played many, but they're also 4 losses as well, so they're right there. But they've got a tough stretch because they've had a game canceled. I think they had a game canceled because of COVID and one because of weather. Because they play home against Iowa on Saturday, and then they play again on Monday, still at home, but against Indiana, who's in free fall right now. Hopefully, Ohio State can continue that. At Illinois, at Maryland, home against Nebraska, home against Michigan State, home against Michigan. So they've got a bunch of games.
7-game stretch, yeah.
Yeah. So I think I saw who was saying that.
They're going to be 7 games, February 19th to March 6th. So that's kind of the same
thing that we had. Yeah.
Yeah, 7 games and
because there was, I think it was Boiled Sports said. I think Boiled Sports said on someone's Quickcast. He mentioned someone else who might have said on Twitter, but I can't remember the time frame. But they were talking about like kind of the teams kind of at the top of the standings and like in the country, I guess top in the polls. And there was games, I think like teams like Duke had played 5 games like in like a 2 or 3 week stretch, something like that. You had teams like Gonzaga had played 4 games. You had a couple, and some other teams had played 4 or 5, and then Purdue had played 7. It was something ridiculous like that. So
Gonzaga playing in the loaded West Coast Conference, according to Jay Billis. West Coast Conference. Is that what it is? Is that what they're at? The West Coast Conference?
West WCC, yeah. Hey, they're going to get 4 teams into the tournament.
Loaded.
So put some respect on their name.
They were, I don't know. I wonder, did they cover last night? They were only 31.5 point favorites.
It was 31.5? Let me see.
31.5 is what it went up to. It opened at 30.5.
Let's see here. West Coast. Gonzaga won by 20, so no. Didn't cover. Good old Pepperdine. What was that stat? It was like against St. Mary's.
Yeah, they're like 31-8 or something like that in the last 10 years, but
everyone else in the conference, they're undefeated again.
Like 124-0 against everybody else. Or they're something stupid.
It's stupid, yeah. But what's
St. Mary's in Iona or something?
Yeah, I can't remember. Maybe I can't remember. So what's your feeling going into? Oh, by the way, Michigan won by 5.
Yeah, they got it done.
So what's your feeling going into this? We have 4 games left.
I'm a little nervous, just because of the 2 road games, plus the IU game always. Even though I'm fairly confident, just because it's at home in Purdue, that was probably Purdue's worst game. Maybe not anymore. At the time, it was their worst game, and they probably still should have won that first game in Bloomington. The road games worry me a little bit just because it's the Big Ten, and winning on the road, the Big Ten's tough.
Yep.
But I feel like Purdue's going to get back to where they were at some point. I mean, where they were rolling 2 weeks ago. I don't know, the first Illinois game, kind of what started it, I guess, before they tripped up in IU, kind of after that, I guess. But
I mean, we're what's our record? We've lost 4 games. It's just like it's always funny, reading message boards and people complaining, which I mean I get.
23-4.
23-4. Plus 4 games. I can't remember the last time a Purdue team had this good of a record going into the last stretch of.
They said something last night that this might have been like, I don't know. They said that last night that this would be Purdue's best record at this point in the season since I don't know.
I think
they said it last time on TV.
The 2017-2018 team, I think they're the only team to ever reach 30 wins. Yeah, because I think the Butler round of 32 game got them to 30 wins before losing to Texas Tech. But I think this team, I mean, obviously you got 4 games left, potentially, hopefully only 3 games in the Big Ten tournament. Then obviously upwards of 6 in the NCAA tournament. So I think definitely can get a chance to surpass them.
I'd hope so. I mean, just win out, get to 27, win the Big Ten. You might even have 30 before you the NCAA tournament.
Right. Oh, you want to pick some games?
Sure.
All right. We'll recap today. Penn State played Minnesota at like 3 in the afternoon, or like 4 in the afternoon today. They won by 21, 67 to 46.
A lot.
Let's see here. So tomorrow, good Friday. Yeah, good for Micah. I mean, they won at Michigan State, or no, they won at home against Michigan State. I think is what it was. So it was a really big signature win for Micah. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow, Friday. Ooh, man, might be game of the week. Maryland at Nebraska. 9 o'clock on Big Ten on Friday night. Maryland at Nebraska, the bottom feeders of the Big Ten. 1-13 versus 3-12 in Lincoln.
There are going to be 500 people at this game.
Are we counting like teams and support staff?
Including teams and support staff, yeah. Court, yeah.
I bet there's like 2,000 people there.
Yeah, I know.
Maryland's a 1.5 point favorite.
I have to think Maryland covers that. I don't know. Neither team's very good, but Maryland, I don't know. Maybe I'm overhyping Maryland because Fats Russell, is that his name? Fats Russell. Is that really?
Sounds like a jazz singer.
Yeah. The chucker gets hot.
Saturday, a couple better games. Noon on ESPN, we've got number 12 Illinois versus at number 19 Michigan State.
I think Illinois handles that fairly easily.
I think it's a double-digit Illinois win. At 2:30, you've got Iowa at number 18 Ohio State.
It's a quick turnaround for Iowa.
Yeah, and then a quick turnaround for Ohio State playing on Monday.
Yeah, I think Ohio State. I don't know. I think they win fairly easily. I don't know, 7 or 8 points or something.
Yeah, I mean, if you're an Ohio State fan, you'd hope for an easy win so you can rest some starters going into Monday. And then at 4 o'clock on Saturday, you got Northwestern at Minnesota.
Another good one. I think Minnesota at home. I'll take Minnesota.
I'm gonna take Northwestern. Northwestern. I think they play a lot of teams close. I think some stat. I think it might have a little outdated now. They're like 4-12 in games decided by single digits. So they play a lot of single digit games. Just they can't finish them. But I think Northwestern takes that one. Sunday. 1 o'clock on CBS, you've got Michigan at number 15 Wisconsin. Wisconsin coming off a win at Assembly Hall on, what was that, Tuesday night. Michigan obviously just won tonight.
They're playing a little better.
Yeah.
I don't think they're still not like top 5 in the country like they were preseason at all. I don't think they were that was pretty overrated. I think Wisconsin handles them. I don't like Wisconsin really either. I don't think Wisconsin's that good either, but
I want to pick Michigan.
They're scrappy.
But I think Wisconsin just is too solid of a team. I don't think they're great. I mean, they beat us, but I think they play just a really.
It seems so long ago.
It does. I mean, it was early January.
December.
Paint crew wasn't even there. We got a comment here from Ultimate Boiler here. Iowa's been on a hot streak lately. Their offense has been clicking like crazy. I mean, when they're on, they've got as good an offense as anybody in the conference aside from Purdue, I think. I mean, Keegan Murray, potential Big Ten Player of the Year. If not, obviously he's been mentioned National Player of the Year. I think he's definitely got a long shot for that. I think going back to, I think Wisconsin handles that one. And then obviously the game that we all care about, Rutgers at number 5 Purdue.
I'm waiting for kind of that get right game for Purdue, where Purdue just gets hot and the offense kind of clicks to where it was 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, this is
Indy making an appearance.
I don't know what the heck that was. I'm waiting for that get right game where Purdue gets hot and the offense rolls and Purdue looks like they should score 120 points.
Yeah, well, I don't understand ESPN, their matchup predictor on their app, because Rutgers is probably the hottest team in the country right now, but yet the ESPN matchup predictor gives Purdue a 92.9% chance to win the game.
ESPN's garbage.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Obviously, I'm picking Purdue. Ultimate Brother says he's stoked to be in Mack on Sunday. I will be there as well. Cannot wait. Last game I was at was a Michigan game. I missed the Maryland game. Thank God. I would have pulled my hair out. What's your score prediction?
I was thinking the Northwestern was going to be it kind of was, I guess. I was thinking Purdue was going to hit some shots and was going to win easily, which they should have. If they'd made the free throws down the stretch, it should have been. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic Purdue wins by like 12. I think Purdue's going to handle it. I think Rutgers is not going to be a going away, but I think Purdue just 8 to 12 points the entire second half, or most last 10 minutes of the game, just at arm's length.
Yeah, my prediction score was Purdue 74-66, like an 8-point win, kind of close towards the end, but then obviously we kind of seal it with free throws.
Hopefully, I'd take that. If Purdue holds teams under 70 points, they have to do pretty well just because of how good Purdue's offense is.
Yeah.
You'd think.
And then we're not going to probably record on Monday or Tuesday, most likely. Monday, you've got Indiana at number 18 Ohio State, depending on what their ranking changes to.
I hope Ohio State wins large.
Yeah, last time these two teams played, Indiana whooped them by like 16 in Assembly Hall. It was like 67-51 or something like that. But I think Ohio State gets the revenge. Gets the revenge game on that. And then Penn State at Maryland at 7 o'clock, also at 7 o'clock, but on ESPN 2.
I think Micah's got him going.
Yeah.
I think Penn State on the road. Side note, when did IU last play? Because we just talked about Wednesday, Thursday, Friday games.
Played
Tuesday. So they go Tuesday to Monday?
Yep.
Oh.
And Ohio State has a 1-day break, even if you want to call it. Yeah.
How the heck does that happen?
I don't know. Blame Kevin Warren. Then Tuesday, you got number 19 Michigan State at 7 o'clock on Tuesday at Iowa.
I don't.
I think I'm picking
still
Iowa
February, right?
It's still February. That's true. That is true. I forgot about that. I'll pick Iowa though, just because I hate Michigan State.
I think Michigan State does it. I don't like that one, but yeah.
Ooh, and then another great matchup at 8 o'clock on Big Ten Network. I pity the announcers who have this game. Nebraska at Northwestern. Andrew, step away here for a second. I think Northwestern in this game. I think they roll by double digits.
Sorry, I think Indy was yakking up something. Northwestern at home against Nebraska. Yep. Again, who cares? Northwestern. Nebraska's terrible.
Yeah.
Fred Hoiberg can get another extension though.
Yeah. That's really there's really the best game of the week coming up besides Purdue Rutgers is Thursday, Ohio State, which we might have a recording before those games. So we'll save the rest of the week for that. Before we get going, let's thank our sponsors here. For those who are viewing, or I'm wearing a Men of Mackey shirt from our friends over at the shop. And if you they actually just came, speaking of Mackey, and the reason I wore this is because they just came out with a trio of shirts for the 3 big basketball arenas in the state of Indiana: Mackey Arena, Hinkle Fieldhouse, and one Ass Hall in Bloomington. But if you want to buy those shirts online, make sure you head over to shopindy.com. Use promo code BREAKDOWN for 25% off. You can also get this Men of Mackey shirt. I just saw today. I was kind of browsing.
Back in stock.
It's back in stock.
I looked a few months ago and they were out.
And obviously they've got some discounts on some of the NIL shirts. I saw the Greg Long shirt was for like $15, so pick that one up.
Did you get that one?
I have not yet. No, I still need to buy I need to buy the Mackey shirt. The shop, awesome shirts, great quality, super soft. Obviously, the cup I'm drinking out of, you can't even see it. The big drum, excellent drinkware. They've got stickers. They just came out. I think with like a Dale senior shirt. I think it was. I didn't read it correct. I didn't read it right, but it got some cool. So they do, and we're getting to the point. We're getting close to May, which is everybody's favorite time in Indy. So they're going to be. I'm sure they'll be pumping out.
They've got some retro Indy 500 stuff on there.
It's pretty sweet.
That I like. That I'm eyeballing.
Yeah. Another one of our favorite sponsors here is Mad Mushroom. They've been serving Lafayette and West Lafayette area for a long time. Next time you're in there, make sure you tell them the Board Breakdown sent you. Maybe pick up their pizza of the month, which this month, for the month of February, is the Super Pie, which is mozzarella cheese topped with mushrooms, onions, green peppers, black olives, sausage, ham, bacon, and spicy pepperoni. Finished with their house-made buffalo ranch sauce. If you want to order online, use coupon code BREAK5 for $5 off any order over $20. What's Shroff Landscaping up to, Andrew?
Shroff Landscaping can handle all of your landscaping needs, including landscape design, maintenance, irrigation, hardscaping. And again, I'm potentially snow cleanup. I'm not sure, but I would assume they can. I'm sure if you gave them a call, I'm sure they would do whatever they could to help out. You can contact them today at 574-223-2769. Hopefully, we'll have some warm weather here soon.
I mean, it's supposed to warm up, but it's like as soon as it warms up, everything.
It's gonna flood.
It's gonna flood, and then like my yard the last couple of days was just been a massive mud pit, which has been great for the dogs.
Yep.
Not great for me. And then it just freezes over, so it turns into an ice rink, and then it's gonna warm up again, and then rinse and repeat. Love spring. Love spring. And then finally, Webster Pharmacy. If you're looking for high quality medical equipment, if you're looking for a COVID vaccine or even a booster shot, head over to there. They've got 3 locations in Rochester, North Manchester, and Akron, Indiana. Solid people, speaking from experience. But check them out at www.webrx.com. Thank you to all of our sponsors. We love having you guys. Any final thoughts, Andrew, before we wrap this puppy up?
Nope. I'm hoping everybody took the day off for Purdue. I know Hunter said that he wasn't going to leave his room, so
yeah.
Hopefully it was a much-needed day of rest.
Lay in bed, do homework, and eat. And that sounds like a perfect day, except for the homework part.
Yeah, I wish I was doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize we were having this massive, when we last time recorded, and we were having this massive stretch of games. I really didn't think about it. So I mean, if we can go 8-1 in this massive stretch, that'd be. Obviously, so we've talked about people complaining about it, but like if we can go 8-1 with no days off, essentially, or maybe like 1 or 2 days off in this entire stretch, that's pretty impressive. I mean, it's what you need when comes tournament time. If you can kind of get through it, I think it really paid dividends.
Yeah, and that's I didn't even realize that. I think I read after the Northwestern game when Brian Newber from Golden Black did his post game, and he's like, okay, and Purdue goes 7-1 in this stretch from the 27th with the 7 and 8 games in 21 days, whatever. And I was like, why does it feel so much worse than that?
Right. Let's just mean like you look at certain games like Maryland, which was an awful game.
Yeah.
Blowing the 20-point lead against Ohio State. Not really running away with it against Northwestern.
Getting whooped by Michigan.
Which was that was just. I mean,
that's probably what it is. But
I wasn't even that mad at that game. It was one like usually when we lose, at least our losses this year have been pretty pissed. But it's like that one, I was just like, it literally was just not our night. Like they made everything we couldn't hit anything. It's just it happens. I even saw. I think someone pointed out. I think it might have been Brian at Golden Black again. There was a game the other night of a team that was 21-4 in a game, and they blew a double-digit lead, ended up winning. And the announcers on the call or say something like, it's a bit concerning that this team blows so many double-digit leads, but hey, they're 22-4, and that team was due. So, suppose if you look at it from a single point of view, obviously it's a much bigger deal when your team does it, but it's college basketball. If you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds, you don't know what happened to them on a daily basis. Like from a personal standpoint, that could affect how they play that night or the next day. I'm just trying to enjoy it because we're not going to be able to watch Jaden Ivey very much longer in a Purdue uniform, and that sucks.
Yeah.
But awesome. Well, thanks, Andrew, for joining us. I know we missed Tanner, and hopefully he'll be back next week. Hopefully, if he decides to get his butt back to Indiana from Florida.
I know. He might just stay there.
Wouldn't blame him. Wouldn't blame him. But thank you guys all for watching, for listening. Make sure to check out our, all of our social medias, Twitter. Give us a follow on Twitter. We like to tweet a lot during basketball games, so interact with us. Like us on Instagram, follow us on YouTube where we post these videos, and we'll see you hopefully sometime next week.